Ted Cruz.
Wow. God bless Nebraska. God bless the United States Constitution. God bless Ben Sasse. And God bless the United States of America. What an incredible, beautiful day to come out and stand for our freedom. These are extraordinary times. Liberty is under assault. The Constitution is under assault. The American dream is under assault. It is getting harder and harder for people who are struggling to provide for their families to achieve the American dream. What we're doing isn't working. We are seeing an administration that is going down the Bill of Rights, violating our rights one after the other after the other. Thunder is coming. You look at the First Amendment with the IRS asking citizen groups, tell us what books you're reading. Tell us the content of your prayers. Let me tell you something. The federal government has no business asking any American the content of our prayers. Yeah. You look at the Second Amendment. Some cheering for the Second Amendment. Look, in Nebraska, like in Texas, gun control means hitting what you're aiming at. You look at the Fourth and Fifth Amendments, our right to privacy. How many of y'all have your cell phones here today? I'm going to ask you to please leave your cell phones on. I want to make sure President Obama hears everything we say today. We are seeing a president who is the most lawless president this country has ever seen. But let me tell you, change is coming. I am optimistic, I am hopeful, I am encouraged, and the reason is because of all of you. We are seeing an awakening sweeping this country. The American people are waking up. Sometimes things have to get really bad to awaken people from slumber. And something powerful, it's happening in Nebraska, it's happening in Texas, it is happening all over the country. People are waking up and saying, we want our freedom back. 2014 is going to be an amazing election year. And 2016 is going to be even better. Now, as conservatives, we have two major tasks this year. Number one, we need to retake the U.S. Senate and retire Harry Reid as majority leader. And we're going to do that. I got to tell you, Democrats in Washington are running scared. You know, it's funny when you come into people's lives and you take away their jobs or you force them into part-time work and you take away their health care and you take away their doctor and you drive up their premiums. The voters have a way of remembering that.
Yep.
But let me tell you the second thing we need to do, because that's why I'm here today. We don't just need to retake the U.S. Senate. We need to grow the core of strong constitutional conservatives in the Senate who are willing to stand up and fight. Now in Nebraska, y'all have some good choices. But there's a reason I'm here today supporting Ben Sasse. Because I'm convinced Ben Sasse has the character, he has the commitment to stand and fight for principle, not when it's easy, but when it's hard. The biggest divide we've got in Washington and in this country is not between Democrats and Republicans. The biggest divide we have got is between entrenched politicians in Washington in both parties and the American people.
That's right.
And I'm here supporting Ben Sasse because I believe he has the courage to look in the eyes of the party bosses in Washington and say, I don't work for you, I work for the people of Nebraska. The election's in 18 days. Early voting is happening right now. This is the sprint. This is when the race is won or lost. I'm going to ask each of you to do three things. Number one, for the next 18 days, I'm going to ask each of you to lift up Ben and his family in prayer. Number two, I'm going to ask each of you to go home today, go to the computer, go to his website, and make a contribution today. If you can write a big check, yeah, that's worth applauding. Look, if you can write a big check, God love you, Ben needs the money. I promise you he will use it to reach out to your fellow Nebraskans and bring the message of freedom. But if you can't, everyone here can give $5 or $10 or $25 or $50 or $100. And that's the power of the grassroots standing together. But I'm going to ask you to do a second thing, which is for each and every one of you to go and vote for Ben Sasse 10 times.
No.
Now, we're not Democrats, so I'm not suggesting anyone take a trip to the graveyard. But there is a way every one of you can vote 10 times for Ben. I want you, number one, to show up and vote. But number two, I'm asking each of you to take a piece of paper, go home, and write on that piece of paper 9 names. 9 names of people who know you, who trust you, who love you, whether it's your sister or your dad or your next door neighbor or your business partner, and pick up the phone and call them and say, listen, this is important. This is important to my kids. This is important to your kids. I'm asking you, show up and vote for Ben Sasse. If every one of you here today commits, I will find 9 other people and deliver 10 votes, Ben Sasse is going to win this race.
Okay.
And if and when Ben wins this race, I have every confidence Ben is going to stand shoulder to shoulder with the other constitutional conservatives in Washington, standing up and saying, we've got to change course. There is a better path. We've got to get back to the free market principles and the constitutional liberties that built this country. And now, with apologies to Barack Obama, I'd like to ask you a few questions. Can we retake the U.S. Senate? Yeah. Yes, we can. Oh. Can we retire Harry Reid? Oh. Yeah. Can we abolish the IRS? Yeah. Can we repeal Obamacare? Yeah. And can we elect Ben Sasse to the United States Senate? That, my friends, is change we can believe in. And with that, I have the great pleasure of introducing a dear friend of mine. She's a mom. She's a wife.
Yes.
She's a governor